And Alderman-at-Large Amber Morgan will lead in the pledge to the flag.
Almighty God, we have the high honor and the serious duty to manage the affairs of our beloved city. Fill us, O God, with a spirit of unity and understanding, which enables us to face our multiple problems with a serene mind, with justice and charity for all, so that any and all decisions made by us will always be for the betterment and greater happiness of all our fellow citizens. So help us God. Amen.
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 I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let's start the meeting by taking a roll call attendance, please.
Alderman Clemmons.
Here.
Alderman Clee.
Here.
Alderman Chess.
Here.
Alderwoman Smith.
Here.
Alderman Tebow.
Here.
Alderman O'Brien.
Present.
Alderman Gregg.
Here.
Alderman Dowd.
Present.
Alderman Sullivan.
Here.
Alderman Senate.
Here.
Alderman Johnson.
Present.
Alderwoman Kelly.
Here.
Alderman Morgan.
Here.
Alderman Lopez.
Here.
Alderman Wilshire.
Here.
15 present, 0 absent.
Thank you. Also joining us this evening is Mayor Jim Donchis and Corporation Counsel Steve Bolton. Mayor, did you wish to address the board this evening?
Yes, Madam President, just a few things. First of all, I know we all are very aware of the explosion and fire that took place out on Amherst Street early last week. The first fire company who arrived from the Pine Hill Road Fire Station was told that there was a gas leak, the odor of gas. But as they approached the building, and this was the Greater Nashville Mental Health Building, as they approached the building, there was an explosion. 3 firefighters were hurt, and a big fire broke out. So following that, the rest of our fire department responded, as well as units from various other towns. Fortunately, the building had already been evacuated, so there was no one in the building. Our emergency people, fire, emergency management, police, all responded as usual very effectively. They got the fire down eventually. No occupants of the building were injured, but we still were left with 3 injured firefighters. And I wanted to update you because I talked with Chief Buxton this morning, and he says that 2 of the firefighters are, well, first of all, they all sustained serious injuries, but not life-endangering. 2 of the firefighters are out of the hospital. The third firefighter still was in the hospital this morning, but Chief Buxton expected that he would be released tomorrow. So that's all good news. So, of course, our hearts go out to their families and for the injuries they sustained, but thank God that no one was more seriously injured and no one was killed. But certainly that could have happened. Madam President, I also wanted to mention another city service issue, which is R2610, which has to do with the snow plowing reserve fund. So right now, and it's snowing again now, but the last count I got was we had about 18 snow incidents to which the public works crews responded, which is a very high number. Our snow budget is about $1.3 million on an annual basis. Usually that is enough, more than enough. This year that's not the case. So the $1.3 million is now been expended. There is a reserve fund of $300,000 which can be drawn upon to pay for snow plowing and snow clearing operations once the regular budget is expended. It looks like that is going to be fully used very quickly, if not already. Now there's another situation tonight. So our 2610 asks that we transfer $500,000 into the snow reserve fund to make sure we get through the winter with the ability to continue to plow the snow. Any unused funds, of course, will remain in the reserve fund until it is needed in a subsequent year. And you'll hear more about that when it goes to the Budget Committee. Finally, Madam President, I wanted to mention that there is a redesign of the website going on, and we would very much like to get input from the residents who use the website as to how they believe the website could be improved, because we want it to work well as possible for all of our residents. So there is a survey on the main page of the website, and it's very obvious if you go there. And if you click on that, you can take the survey and give comments regarding how you would like to see the website improved. And we will take those into account, and in an effort to be as responsive to our residents as possible with respect to our city website. And with that, Madam President, I will conclude.
Thank you, Mayor. Response to the remarks of the Mayor. Alderman Clee.
Thank you, Madam President. To the Mayor's discussion of the fire and the explosion, we've all said it over and over again. We're grateful to all of our firefighters and mutual aid from all the different communities and so on. I was asked even today about the hydrants that weren't working in Pennachuck and so on. And if everybody listens to the Pennachuck meeting that we had last Thursday, Pennachuck explained what happens when they go out. One happened to be hit by a plow. There was another one that wasn't working. They talked about the collar around the fire hydrant and so on. I'm not going to go into those details. I don't know exactly how to explain it all, but anybody who's interested can watch the Pennachuck meeting, and they were very open as to how these get reported. And a lot of times, as they said, they get reported by citizens because they don't know that it's been affected and so on. And they ask that we clean the fire hydrants. Take the time to do that, because while the firefighters go around, they've also got a lot of other jobs to do. So thank you.
Alderman Chess.
Just to add on that quickly, just the quick check that they mentioned for those who don't get to it is just touch the fire hydrant, and if it wiggles, call them. That's.
They did say that.
They did. That's because of that collar. Yep.
Alderman Tebow.
Thank you, Madam President. Yeah, I just want to say, we've had way too many fires in the city lately, and our fire department has been probably getting more text out than they have been in years past. They've done an amazing job, again, keeping people safe and being there when we need them. Question I have through you to the mayor. Was there anything that could have been prevented that we can kind of do a PSA out to people like, hey, clean off this or clean off that or do this, or was it just a freak accident that happened that caused it?
I think, well, that's being, in terms of what caused the explosion.
Yeah.
I think that, well, that's being investigated by the state fire marshal, but the theory is that ice fell off the roof and broke the meter, the gas meter, and that somehow it ignited.
Okay.
But beyond that, I mean, I don't have any answers, except that the fire marshal's investigation should reveal more.
Okay. I know the first thing I did was run to my side of my house and make sure my gas meter was all cleaned off and made sure there was no ice above it. So hopefully, if people get the word out, that there'll be, no chance of any more of these happening. Thank you.
Alderman Dowd.
Yeah, I just think we ought to also thank Emily Maziello, Emergency Preparedness Director. She's been tested a couple times in the last 3 months and has done an outstanding job of coordinating all of these people that are involved. And also thank our adjacent towns that are sending their equipment here lately more often than we probably want to see. But the mutual aid is extremely important for both ourselves and our other cities that surround us, because it helps them fight the item that's going on. Thank you.
Alderman Lopez.
I just want to add my commendation and recognition of Greater National Mental Health. They were able to reopen their open access on Monday over at Pine Street Extension, which is difficult because those are mental health professionals, are the ones we turn to when these crises happen, and they just experienced it themselves. So I just want to give them credit, because I think as a mental health professional, I've worked at Greater Nashua, and you're operating just a couple steps above burnout in the best of times, trying to do everything you can for all the people coming in. And to have a crisis like this suddenly take place, their resilience is impressive.
All right, recognition period.
None.
Reading minutes of previous meetings. There being no objection, I'll declare the minutes of the special and regular Board of Aldermen meetings of October 9th, 2025, and October 14th, 2025 be accepted, placed on file, and the reading suspended. Communications requiring only procedural actions and written reports from liaisons.
Communication has been received from Mayor Jim Donchis and President Laurie Wilshire regarding formation of an ad hoc joint committee to provide recommendations on debt service planning relative to anticipated capital expenditures over the next 5 years. And communication has been received from Tim Cummings, Director of Administrative Services, regarding communication providing additional information on O-24-041 relative to increasing exemptions in other assessing matters.
There being no objection, I'll accept the communications and place them on file. Period for public comment relative to items expected to be acted upon this evening. We have 4 people who have signed up. We're going to start with Michael Gagnon.
Thank you, President Wilshire and distinguished Board of Aldermen.
We need your name and address for the record.
My name is
please.
Mike Gagnon. I'm in Paula's ward, but basically, okay, so I'd like to speak to the mayor and the city council today about the flagpole and the flags policy in place by the city of Nashua. Flags are meant to inspire people to a common purpose. In the military, I was taught that when we got split up, we rally around the flag. The flag is a signal to unify everybody together with a common shared purpose. All of us here today were born or gave birth to someone else. It's the one thing we all have in common, no matter what. Nashua is blessed with the city to have 2 major hospitals and maternity wards, another soon-to-be urgent care facility, nursing college, et cetera, and Christian religious organizations. It borders Hollis, which is a town with the most medical professionals per square foot in any other town in the country. Nashua has made itself the place to safely give birth. It is a pro-life city, the most pro-life city in New Hampshire. That is something for Nashua to be proud of. I applied to fly the pro-life flag as the city's flagpole last year in conjunction with the rally sponsored by the Nashua chapter of the New Hampshire Right to Life, and was denied the opportunity to fly that flag. I did not contest it, but flying the pro-life flag is good for Nashua. I travel a lot, so I have not seen what happened here in the city with respect to these pride flags all over town. I came and found this out. I don't know what the decision was and was around to that, but that is more of something that is divisive to this community than anything else. But flying the pro-life flag is something that everybody should be welcomed about. So for that, I was very offended, and I believe I'm not the only one. But I apply to the members of this council to cancel that Pride Month celebrating sodomy, okay? I submit flying the pro-life flag would be much better use of that particular time. I also heard that the decision made by the court on behalf of Stephen and Beth Scare, that for the city to deny them the use of the flagpole is to fly the historic pine tree flag was a violation of their First Amendment rights. I believe the city owes them the right to fly that flag or the flagpole for the time they request, and you should do so immediately. Thank you.
Thank you. Beth Scare?
Beth Scare, 111 East Hobart Street. I have 3 important questions that I'm asking you to answer during your debate on the new flag ordinance. First one is, will the proposed flag policy be a real change in behavior or just encourage people to give input privately to the mayor? Second, will the city only fly flags it personally owns from now on, rather than flying flags that have been loaned to it as previously? And the last question is, will you update the policy to include flags and banners hanging from city lampposts and other city property? Thank you.
Stephen Scare?
Good evening, Stephen Scare, 111 East Hobart Street. Regarding the flag ordinance, there's a very simple way forward. I don't want to see my taxes promoting ideologies, especially destructive ones that leave children confused and permanently harmed. But why promote any ideological or political position? We should simply have our state flag and our national flag, things that unite us. Thank you.
Simon Amaya Price?
Hey. Good evening, everyone. My name is Simon Amaya Price. I'm here to speak in regards to Ordinance 26001.
Do you have an address?
I've been advised by my security team to keep that private. Is that acceptable?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
The ordinance requires it.
I would like to see...
Wait a minute.
All good?
Our ordinance requires it.
Okay. I'll forfeit my time then.
Madam President?
Yes.
Point of order.
Yes.
The gentleman could give his business address. We have accepted those in the past if he chooses, right?
We have accepted those.
I believe you have.
Do you have a business address you could give us?
I do not have the business address. Okay.
Okay. Communications requiring final approval?
Communication has been received from Mayor Jim Donchis regarding multi-year contract award Eagle View Cloud Software.
Alderman Sullivan.
Thank you, Madam President. I'd like to make a motion to accept, place on file, and approve a 6-year, multi-year contract for flight imagery services with Pictometry International Corporation in the amount not to exceed $110,531.25, which is $18,421.88 annually. Funding will be through Department 134 GIS Fund, General Fund 53 Professional and Technical Services.
You've heard the motion. Is there discussion on that motion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? That motion carries.
Communication has been received from Liz Hannum, Economic Development Director, regarding Arts Commission spending recommendation.
There being no objection, I'll refer the communication to the Budget Review Committee. Petitions.
None.
Nominations, appointments, and elections.
Joint convention with Woodlawn Pinewood Cemeteries Board of Trustees.
There being no objection, I'll declare that the Board of Aldermen meet in joint convention with the Woodlawn Pinewood Cemetery Trustees for the purpose of electing 2 trustees and call for nominations. Do we have anyone here from the Woodlawn Pinewood Cemeteries? Okay, Alderman Clements.
Yeah, I would move to nominate Todd Whitney and Mark Colomb for a 5-year term to expire March 31st, 2030.
You have to have a quorum of both bodies.
Oh,
And if there's no one here, there's...
okay.
We don't have a quorum.
Are we staying in the graveyard?
Okay.
All right.
Board of Public Works Retirement System Trustees. David Fredette, reappointment, term to expire February 10th, 2028, 4 Henry David Drive, number 408, Nashua, New Hampshire, 03062. Cultural Connections Committee, Donna Marcoux, reappointment, term to expire February 28th, 2029, 37 Pinewood Road, Hudson, New Hampshire, 03051. Ethics Review Committee, Roger Wiseman, reappointment, term to expire March 16th, 2029, 88 Peel Road, Nashua, New Hampshire, 03062. Mine Falls Park Advisory Committee, Stephen Kenny, reappointment, term to expire February 10th, 2029, 9 Sagamore Road, Nashua, New Hampshire, 03062. Nashua Center for the Arts Board of Trustees, Judith Carlson, reappointment, term to expire March 10th, 2029, 15 Manchester Street, Nashua, New Hampshire, 03064.
There being no objection, I'll accept the appointments by the mayor as read and refer them to the Personnel Administrative Affairs Committee. Reports of committees. There being no objection, I'll declare the report of the October 22nd Committee on Infrastructure be accepted and placed on file. There being no objection, I'll suspend the rules to allow for the oral report of the Human Affairs Committee meeting held Monday night, February 9th, regarding proposed resolution R26009. Alderman Lopez.
So at our meeting last night, Manager Chisholm came and made a presentation on our ongoing program for removal of exotic species. Some might call them invasive species. We went over the different species which are most common, and it was explained that this needs to be discussed by the board and a decision made quickly, because there's a number of pieces that need to follow in order to allow the agencies that would actually be able to do the removal to be aware of that, have their funding approved, and to follow that process. So she did request that we consider it tonight. It's something that we've been doing for years. It benefits the city of Nashua, particularly the Mine Falls area, and our waterways.
Thank you. Confirmation of mayor's appointments.
Arts Commission.
There being no objection, I will confirm the new appointment of Stephanie Mall, 15 Lidgewood Hills Drive, Nashua, with a term to expire March 10th, 2028, to the Arts Commission. Is Stephanie Mall here with us this evening? She'll be sworn in at a later date.
Citizens Advisory Commission.
There being no objection, I'll confirm the reappointments of Jason Tulersky, 5 Shakespeare Road, Nashua, and Oscar Velasquez, 76 Bowview Ave, Nashua, both with terms to expire December 1st, 2028, to the Citizens Advisory Commission. Could you gentlemen please come forward for the oath of office, right up to the attorney?
Please, each of you raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear that you will faithfully and impartially discharge and perform all of the duties incumbent upon you as a member of the Citizens Advisory Commission for the City of Nashua, according to the best of your abilities and agreeably to the rules and regulations of the city charter and the Constitution and laws of the state of New Hampshire, so help you God? Thank you.
Conservation Commission.
There being no objection, I'll confirm the reappointment of Richard Whithue, 23 Syracuse Road, Nashua, with a term to expire December 31st, 2028, to the Conservation Commission. Is Mr. Whithue here this evening? Come right up and be sworn in.
Raise your right hand, please. Do you solemnly swear that you will faithfully and impartially discharge and perform all the duties incumbent upon you as a member of the Conservation Commission of the City of Nashua, according to the best of your abilities, and agreeably to the rules and regulations of the city charter and the Constitution and laws of the state of New Hampshire, so help you God?
So help me, Mother Nature.
Thank you.
Ethics Review Committee.
There being no objection, I'll confirm the new appointments of Justin Gerstenfield, 79 Gilson Road, Nashua, with a term to expire December 9th, 2028. Lou Juris, 56 Haines Street, Nashua, and Adam Thompson, 30 Front Street, Nashua, apartment 715, both with terms to expire February 10th, 2029, to the Ethics Review Committee.
Do all solemnly swear that you will faithfully and impartially discharge and perform all the duties incumbent upon you as a member of the Ethics Review Committee of the City of Nashua, according to the best of your abilities and agreeably to the rules and regulations of the city charter and the Constitution and laws of the state of New Hampshire, so help you God.
I do.
Thank you.
Mine Falls Park Advisory Committee.
There being no objection, I'll confirm the new appointment of Paula Lockheed, 4 Westbrook Drive, Nashua, with a term to expire January 27, 2029. And new appointments of Justin Hopperich, 29 Lutheran Drive, Nashua, with a term to expire January 13, 2029. Kamal Massan, 20 Jennifer Drive, Nashua, with a term to expire February 10, 2029. And Michael Sliwa, 28 Woodfield Street, Nashua, with a term to expire March 10, 2029, to the Mine Falls Park Advisory Committee. Please come forward.
Would each of you raise your right hand, please? Do you solemnly swear that you will faithfully and impartially discharge and perform all of the duties incumbent upon you as a member of the Mine Falls Park Advisory Committee, according to the best of your abilities and agreeably to the rules and regulations of the city charter and the Constitution and laws of the state of New Hampshire, so help you God? Thank you.
Pennachuck Water Board of Directors.
There being no objection, I will confirm the new appointment of Nadra Bell, 2 Farley Street, Nashua, with a term to expire on the date of the annual shareholders meeting in 2028 to the Pennachuck Water Board of Directors. Oath of office will be administered at a later date. Election by the Board of Aldermen.
Board of Health.
There being no objection, I will confirm the new appointment of Stephanie Ballantyne, MS, RN, APRN, FNP, BC. It's a lot of alphabet. 9 Bartlett Ave, Nashua, with a term to expire December 31st, 2027, to the Board of Health. She will be sworn in at a later date. Unfinished business resolutions.
Second reading of R-26-008, renaming the Arlington Street Community Center as the Gloria Timmons Community Center.
Alderwoman Kelly.
Thank you. I'd like to make a motion for final passage of R-26-008. I'd like to speak to it.
Alderwoman Kelly.
Thank you. This passed the committee unanimously. We had a really nice discussion on what Gloria meant to the city and that she really is the definition of community, and this is a perfect way to encapsulate her legacy. So I hope that you all will support it.
Oh. Alderman Clay.
Thank you, Madam President. I, too, endorsed and feel very strongly about this. We all know all of the things that Gloria did as far as the boards that she sat on, the bringing the Greater Nashua NAACP here, working on the Arlington Street Community Center. And what many might not know is that Gloria also took elderly people grocery shopping and at times would bring food to them when they needed it. People who were sick reached out to her and so on. She went far beyond the community of serving as if she served individuals. We all know of her military service and how she raised children while being a single mother in the military. Just such an amazing person. I can't think of a better way of honoring her than to put her name on that community center. So I hope that this is unanimous and we go forward. Thank you.
Alderman Tebow?
Thank you, Madam President. I've said this before in this chamber, probably when we were naming the McCarthy Middle School, that I'm not a huge fan of naming things after people. And I did vote for that, for the school to be voted, to be named after him. And I know we got a letter recently that it said there was some recency bias, and I can see where that may be a thing in general cases. I know that if God forbid, something happens to me tonight, no one's naming something for me. I don't care how recent the bias is, right? The point here is that it's not about the recency bias with Alderman Timmons. She had done so much. Her resume, I could sit here and I could continue to write things that she's done while raising a pretty big family of grandkids and a great family that she has, all while doing all these different things. Multicultural festival, she was a veteran. I mean, we can go on and on and on. I could sit here for a long time. So she has earned that resume, and she has earned that right and that honor to be, and I talked to Jessica when she was here at the Personnel Committee that runs Arlington, and I said, is there anybody against it? Like, would people be against this? And she's like, absolutely not. So there's definitely reason to do this, and I think it would be a big honor to her. And like I said, in personnel, I miss her every day, and it would be great to see her name on that building. So thank you.
Alderwoman Gregg.
Thank you, Madam President. And so I think with Gloria, the thing about her, and keeping in mind with naming a community center after, her legacy was not just one of her family or her service to the city, but it was of her love for community that really she taught everybody else. So the thing, you couldn't not like Nashua if you were with Gloria more than 5 minutes. And so, you know, that legacy of loving the community, about being an active part of the community, you know, and really respecting other people was just a part of her core that I certainly appreciated and learned a lot from. And I think it would be a great honor for her to, she's always there in spirit, but to have her name on that would be really great.
Alderman Senate.
Thank you, Madam President. I mean, everybody's really spoken to what Gloria Timmons meant to the city of Nashua, but, you know, to take that a step further, we all know how instrumental she was in standing up that community center, putting in the work to get that to happen. And once those doors were open, that didn't end for her. That was something that she held very dear to her and something she cherished here in the city of Nashua. So much so that 4 years ago, when I was standing at that pulpit there asking for this board's consideration to fulfill an unfinished term here on this board, the one question that she posed to me was, have you been to the community center? And if you have not, why not? Which was about as direct and as indicative of what she felt about that community center as could get. And I was happy to be able to say that night that, yes, I'm there rather frequently. I was actually there tonight before I came here to City Hall, dropping my son off for one of his classes there that he takes. And I had the opportunity to go downstairs and speak with some of the staff, knowing that this vote was coming up. Just to, you know, again, to Alderman Tebow's point, make sure that, you know, we weren't taking something from them, because as much as Gloria cared about that community center, the staff there really puts their heart into it. And I wanted to be sure that this wasn't something that was being done, you know, with the wool over their eyes or something. And I heard nothing but enthusiastic support for this change and stories of how they all worked with Gloria in some capacity or another. So I really think this is a deserved honor, and I'm happy to support it. I'll be happy to see Gloria's name enshrined in Ward 7. Thank you.
Alderman Lopez.
The previous speakers have done a great job in articulating why Gloria's name should be on that building. But I would add that a lot of us feel very, very strongly about our experiences with her, because it was a privilege to know her, and it was an honor for us to serve with her. So I think while she is being honored by her name on that building, it's an honor for our city to be able to do that and to recognize somebody. I said in the last meeting that Gloria is the kind of person that people can look up to and that people can see as an inspiration. And I think we need that in our city, and we should be proud of the people who really, really made a difference and really, really lived what they believed. And I think Gloria touched so many lives. I think we are certainly honoring her legacy by naming the Arlington Street Community Center after her. But I think it's an honor for us all to do it, and it's a privilege for the city of Nashua to have had her as one of our own.
Well said. Okay. Motion before us is for final passage. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries, and Resolution 26008 is declared duly adopted.
Second reading of R-26-009, relative to the acceptance of $80,790 from the State of New Hampshire Department of Environmental Services Exotic Species Program, and to authorize the transfer of matching funds.
Alderman Lopez.
I'd like to recommend final passage of R-25-009.
26009?
Yeah, I think I need to zoom in a little more. Sorry. R-26-009.
Okay, very good. Motion before us is for final passage of R-26009. Discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? That motion carries, and Resolution 26009 is declared duly adopted. Unfinished business ordinances.
Second reading of O-26-001, relative to flagpoles on City Hall grounds.
Alderman Tebow.
I'd like to make a motion for final passage of O-26-001, and I'd like to speak to it briefly, please.
Alderman Tebow.
Thank you, Madam President. So we passed this in personnel, and I think it's time that the citizens' flagpole goes away and it goes back to over to the city. So I am definitely for this, and I just think we've had too much controversy with it. It'll make it better if we just end that right there, and we'll be good to go. So, thank you.
Alderman Johnson, then Alderman Sullivan.
Thank you very much. I voted against this in committee. Now, which flagpole is it out front? There's 3 flagpoles out front. Is it the one that has the state flag on it, the one that has the American flag on it, or the one that has the POW MIA flag on it? Or is there another one that I didn't count out there?
It's one in the middle.
What,
I can help if you
when
wish.
I,
Attorney
through
Bolton.
you?
There are 4 flags.
Okay.
The ordinance covers all 4 of them.
May I ask another question
You can.
to you?
Mm-hmm.
To Attorney? So there's 4 flagpoles out there right now?
There are 3 grouped together, and there's one further to the south.
And the one that's further has no flag on it right now. It's empty.
I think it has the American flag on it. I don't know what it has right at the moment.
Because, excuse me,
Most days it has the American flag.
okay, maybe I'm going to redirect this, because I know when you look out the window, that when I was up in your office the other day, I saw one
You
flagpole.
were in my office the other day?
Well, I was with Attorney Clark, talking to her. So it wasn't that I was in your office, but I looked out your window to see where the flagpoles were with her. Okay, because we were talking about the flags with this. Hope I didn't get her into any trouble. You know, we just looked out the window,
So she
you know?
brought you into my office.
We just looked out the window in your
So
office.
she brought you into my office.
Okay, we looked
Is-
out in her
Is that
window.
what you're telling me?
No, I'm not. I looked out the window and I was able to see
What
where the
window?
flagpole is. You know, we're going to make a big to-do out of something right now. I'm just asking a question. There's how many
Trying
flagpoles
to
out there?
understand what you're asking. There are
Okay.
4 flagpoles.
There's 4, okay. There's 3 in front. I'm so see the flagpoles out there. That's an American flag, there's a state flag, and there's a MIA POW flag. Is there another flagpole over there, or there's one at a distance? There's only 3 flagpoles out there.
There are 3 that are in close proximity.
Okay.
There is one further to the left as you're looking at City Hall.
Okay.
The ordinance applies to all of them.
Okay, thank you.
Alderman Sullivan.
Thank you. I had read last week that there was a federal judge that deemed our flag policy unconstitutional, and I was curious to know if this ordinance would fix that.
It would.
It would. Could I
Further, yes.
just speak? Thank you. I am not going to support this only because I think that, you know, turning this into a government property situation, however it's explained, I think when you look at it currently, knowing and understanding the administration and who's in office now, I think fine, okay. But beyond that, in all due respect, Mr. Mayor, you won't be mayor forever, and maybe the next administration now has that ability to take the flagpoles on and then put up any messages that it deems appropriate, because it is property of the city administration, however it's explained. So I think today, fine, but tomorrow, maybe not. So that's a reason I'm going to vote against it.
Alderman Lopez?
So I cannot imagine a scenario where we would deliberately vote to uphold something that a judge has said is unconstitutional. It feels like we should probably respond as best we can to protect the taxpayers and the people of Nashua from issues that might arise from that. I do hear my colleague's point that we could have another mayor in some future day that uses the flagpoles poorly. I would encourage the city of Nashua to elect a responsible mayor in future years. We don't have somebody misusing our flagpole.
Alderman Senate?
Thank you, Madam President. I was hoping if I could, through you to the mayor, just inquire, but one of my constituents was here tonight and posed a couple of questions really relative around the intent of this flagpole going forward. And I was just hoping you could speak a little bit to that, what you foresee the pole being used for moving forward.
Well, in the same way we've used it for the last few years. Now, the court decision had to do with the policy that was several years old now. But what we've basically done is we've allowed these national flags, you know, the Indian independence, Greek independence, Dominican independence, and the pride flag during the pride celebration. But beyond that, we really haven't allowed anything else I can think of that has a political slant to it. And that's what I would continue to do. I mean, I think we do not want these controversial political flags up there.
Attorney Bolton?
With all respect, Mr. Mayor, you haven't allowed anything. You have determined it is just the city's. It can only be used by the city. It's not a question of allowing someone else to use it. That cannot be done and has not been done. So we just have to make that clear. It is not a question of some people are favored and some people are disfavored. Over the last 2, almost 3 years now, that has not been done. It's not a question of allowing and disallowing. It's always the city's determination. Thank you.
Alderwoman Kelly?
Thank you. I will echo the comments that if this was deemed unconstitutional, I don't see why you wouldn't support the legislation that makes it constitutional. I also just want to remind everyone that the work is supposed to be done in committee, and there was no discussion. There were people who asked questions this evening who sit on that committee, did not ask any questions. I understand not everyone can make it to committee meetings. It's fine to have a couple of questions, but the work needs to be done in the committee, and I asked Attorney Bolton to be there for questions. So I invite you to come to the committee meetings and do the work there, please.
Alderman Chess?
I'm open to my mind being changed, but if you don't mind me responding, Alderman Sullivan, from my interpretation of having a different city board and mayor who might put things up that we don't like, as it stands now, anyone can put something up that we do not like, or am I misinformed, or can someone correct me? I see head shaking, so I'm incorrect here. So someone please enlighten me.
Attorney Bolton.
Attorney Bolton?
If this is not passed, anyone can put up anything, and we can't refuse them. So
Okay.
you will see SWAT stickers,
Yes.
hammer and sickle, all sorts of things that I don't think any one of you would wish to endorse.
All right, that's what I thought. I must have said it poorly. That's what I thought it was currently. So
Well,
I think
it's not that currently, because currently in place is a policy adopted by the mayor more than 2 years ago, and that's what's been followed.
Okay.
But This is to correct what the First Circuit Court of Appeals determined on an interim basis. But they invited us to close this as a public forum and correct the situation. That's what this ordinance will do.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else? Okay. Motion is for final passage. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
I'm sorry. Opposed?
Nay.
Motion carries.
Okay, it works.
Ordinance 26-1 is declared duly adopted. Business unfinished at previous meeting.
None.
New business resolutions.
First reading of R-26-010, increasing the maximum allowable amount in the snow removal expendable trust fund and making a supplemental appropriation of $500,000 of assigned fund balance into the snow removal expendable trust fund.
Additional sponsors, Alderman Clemmons, Alderman Clee, Alderman Tebow. Did you have your hand up, Alderman O'Brien?
I'm already on it.
Oh, you're already on it?
Yeah.
You're a step ahead. Okay. Alderman Senate, Alderman Lopez, and myself, Alderwoman Kelly.
But, Madam President, the reason I have my hand up is a point of order, a question through you to the mayor. Mr. Mayor, it's still snowing. Is this mission critical? I mean, could it go for a second reading tonight?
I think
Is
it can.
Public Works.
I think we can wait till, let it go through the normal process.
Also a
Okay.
public hearing.
A public hearing.
Yeah.
Okay. Given its first reading, I'll assign that to the Budget Committee and schedule a special Board of Aldermen public hearing on Monday, February 23rd, 2026, in the Aldermanic Chamber at 7 p.m.
First reading of R-26-011, relative to the acceptance of $15,833 from the New Hampshire Department of Homeland Security into Emergency Management Grant Activity Smart Hazmat Fiscal Year 26.
Additional sponsors, Alderman Clee, Alderman Tebow, Alderman O'Brien, Alderman Gregg, Alderman Dowd, Alderman Morgan, Alderman Lopez, myself. Given its first reading, I'll assign that to the Human Affairs Committee.
First reading of R-26-012, relative to the supplemental appropriation of $600,000 of assigned fund balance into Fund Number 7064, Hydropower Reserve Fund.
Additional sponsors, Alderman O'Brien, Alderman Dowd, myself. Given its first reading, I'll send that to the Budget Review Committee and schedule a special Board of Aldermen public hearing on Monday, February 23rd, 2026, in the Aldermanic Chamber at 7 p.m.
First reading of R-26-013, relative to the supplemental appropriation of $280,000 of assigned fund balance into Department 168 Solid Waste, account number 55520, NHDES surcharge fee.
Additional sponsors, Alderman Clee, Alderman O'Brien, Alderman Gregg, Alderman Dowd, Alderman Morgan, and myself. Given its first reading, I'll assign that to the Budget Review Committee and schedule a special Board of Aldermen public hearing on Monday, February 23rd, 2026, in the Aldermanic Chamber at 7 p.m. New business ordinances.
First reading of O-26-002, allowing electronic public comment for people with walking disabilities.
Additional sponsors, Alderman Clemmons, Alderman Senate. Given its first reading, I'll send that to the Personnel Administrative Affairs Committee. Period for general public comment. We have 3 people signed up. Chief Buxton.
Good evening, Steve Buxton, Chief of the Fire Department. Mayor Donchus, Madam President, and members of the Board of Aldermen, on behalf of the men and women of Nashua Fire Rescue, I want to take a moment to sincerely thank you and our residents of our city for the extraordinary outpouring of support following the February 2nd incident at 440 Amherst Street. In moments like that, when our firefighters are injured doing the work they are sworn to do, the strength of this community becomes very real. The messages, the concern, and the quiet gestures of kindness reminded our members and their families that they are never alone. I also want to thank this board for its continued investment in public safety. The resources, training, and support you provide allow our firefighters and all of our public safety partners to respond decisively when seconds matter and conditions are at their worst. That commitment directly protects our residents and strengthens our safety in the city. This incident also reinforced that public safety in Nashua is truly a team effort. I am deeply grateful for our partners at the Nashua Police Department, the Office of Emergency Management, the Department of Public Works, the Building Department, AMR Nashua, and most importantly, our local hospitals. Their professionalism, coordination, and compassion were critical that day and in the days that followed. I'm encouraged to share that our injured members continue to make progress in their recovery while the investigation into the incident remains ongoing. What is already clear is the strength of this organization, this city, and this community. Thank you for standing with us, for believing in public safety, most importantly, supporting it appropriately, and for the trust you place in our department each and every day. It is our honor to serve the people of Nashua. Thank you very much.
Justin Gerstenfield.
Good evening, Justin Gerstenfield, 79 Gilson Road. I just wanted to come up and speak real quick tonight on Ordinance 0-26-002. I wanted to start by saying that I fully support the goal of this change and that we should absolutely make it easier for people with disabilities to participate in our meetings from home. However, as it's currently written, this ordinance is a bit too one-size-fits-all. It uses a very specific state law, New Hampshire RSA 26188, which is the law used for disability parking placards. By using this definition, we are saying that if you have a physical walking disability, you can speak from home, but if you have a different kind of disability, you cannot. Thinking about our neighbors who might be blind, or those with severe hearing loss, or residents with chronic illness that may make it dangerous for them to be in a crowded room at night, under this ordinance, they are left out. If we are already setting up the technology to allow remote comment, it doesn't make sense to limit it to just one specific group. I'm also concerned about the red tape here, requiring a resident to mail or drop off their private medical records or a copy of their parking placard to City Hall 3 days in advance just to speak for 2 or 3 minutes is a big hurdle. I'm asking the board to take a second look at this in the committee, and instead of a narrow rule that only helps some, let's make a broad rule that helps all of our residents with disabilities. Let's make sure that when we open the door to City Hall for people to make a public comment, we open it wide enough that all of our residents can get through it. Thank you.
Adam Thompson.
Good afternoon, Adam Thompson, resident of, I live at 30 Front Street in Scenic Historic, Ward 3. And just like the previous speaker just spoke on, I don't think this ordinance goes far enough. I think there's a lot of issues that not just physically disabled people. Myself, I'm a disabled veteran. I've been homebound twice in my life. And having the opportunity to be able to submit online testimony is very important to get their people's opinions heard and share their experiences. But just limiting it to somebody who can't walk, it doesn't go far enough. And if we intentionally legislate or put in an ordinance that specifically targets or enhances one people, we're going to be unfortunately discriminating against others. So we need to make this sure that this this ordinance goes further to make sure everybody is covered. I appreciate it. Long-time listener, first-time caller. Thank you, guys. Have a great day.
Thank you. Remarks by members of the board. I'll start over here tonight. Alderman Clemens.
Thank you, Madam President. I too wanted to just take a moment to recognize our fire department and the wonderful work that they do. I wanted to thank the men and women there, and I hope for those firefighters who were injured, I hope they have a speedy recovery. The other thing that I wanted to bring up this evening was there was a number of students at Nashua High North and South who walked out of their classes to protest ICE. And I thought that that was an excellent use of their First Amendment rights. And, you know, really, we as a community should be proud of those students. We should be proud of the messaging that they are sending, hopefully, to adults who are listening. The things that are going on across the country with the current administration are at best atrocious. And we really need people to protest. We need people to speak up. We need people to write their congressmen and let them know that, you know, we are not supporting the policies that are in place by the Trump administration anymore. These students stood up for their right, their First Amendment right to say that, and as an adult, I'm listening, I'm here, I have this platform, and I'm using it as well. So, thank you.
Alderman Clee.
Thank you, Madam President. I kind of want to echo my colleagues' words about the students that did the walkout. I think it's a great exercise of their First Amendment rights. The First Amendment doesn't say that you have to be over 18 in order to have the First Amendment. So all ages are given this ability. And the one thing that I want to say is that I think it's commendable that they're learning and taking the time to understand. I graduated from high school in 1978. Yes, I'm 65 years old. And when I graduated in 1978, I can tell you the thing that we did not talk about, was not taught, was the Vietnam War. They didn't even talk about the Korean War, which I find reprehensible. You know, many years later, I marry a man who is a Vietnam veteran. I learned more from him about it than I did through school. I should have learned about it through school, and these students are taking the time to understand current events. Going through school, that was a current event for me. We didn't de-escalate until 1972. So I went through my entire education without knowing about this. I worked for the Department of Veterans Affairs, which is where I met Dick, and I learned a lot about our Vietnam veterans. I wished I'd known more before that. So I commend these students. I also want to say thank you for Chief Buxton for coming and speaking to us. I think to hear from the top of the chain, so to speak, it warmed my heart. And I wish there was something I could do for every single one of those men and women who put their life on the line for us. And this is where our tax dollars go, is for these people. And I hope that we all understand that. And I want to make one other comment that was made during the Pennachuck meeting. And that was that next door, there's a private business that has a private hydrant. And it wasn't working because they never kept it up and they didn't do the proper inspections and so on. So my message to all those buildings that have their private fire hydrant, please have it inspected annually, as we do in the city. Please have it checked to make sure it's working. Because if that had been your building, your fire hydrant wouldn't have been working. So I hope that they take that point, and I hope other businesses who have these take this. When you shake the, as was spoken to by my other colleague, when you shake that fire hydrant, don't do it so much that you break it, which I don't think you can, but if it moves, when you just try to shake it a little bit, call Pennachuck immediately, and they will send someone out. They have to send for parts and so on. So thank you, Madam President.
Alderman Tebow.
Thank you, Madam President. I just want to say thanks to our clerk, Dan Healy, today, doing double duty, bouncing back and forth. He did a great job. And I want to thank everybody for voting for the Arlington Community Center to be named after Alderwoman Timmons. You know, someone said in a letter, would she want it named after her? No, she would not, and that's why we're naming it after her, because she would not want it named after her. So thank you for that. Did you guys know we have a national superstar from Nashua that's playing for Stanford University right now, Ibuka Okori? He dropped 40 the other night. This kid is one of the best freshmen in the nation, coming from Nashua, New Hampshire, and his father, Charles, who probably a lot of you have met, he does the water walk. This kid is awesome, and I think he's going to be drafted, and he's going to be from Nashua. My son played with him, and they won a junior biddy tournament together, although not because of my son, it was all Ibuka. He was his first year, so it wasn't him, it was all Ibuka, but it's pretty cool to have someone that's that good, and I know the mayor's gone out there, and he's actually saw him play, so the mayor calls me, and I go, uh-oh, what's going on with the city now? And it's, hey, did you see Ibuka last night? He won the game. So that's pretty awesome. You know, I don't fault the kids for doing their protest. I think they should do that type of stuff. Unfortunately, I have to tell my kid not to do it because he would be suspended from the track team, which is going to regionals in a couple of weeks. So, you know, it's not for everyone, no matter what they think. So I think kids can protest anytime they want, and they should. They should hold a large one if they want. You know, I can't leave work to go protest, right? And so I think the kids should have a big one somewhere, and they should invite everyone, and we should have a huge one, because what's going on in this country right now is worth protesting for, no matter what side you're on. Things are not right in this country. And I think, you know, as they said in the Super Bowl, love is more powerful than hate. And I'll leave it there. Drive safe tonight, everyone, please.
Alderman O'Brien.
Thank you, Madam President. I just want to say as well, you know, my deep admiration and respect for the firefighters and best wishes to them, the ones who were injured. After 40 years in the business, you know, it happens. The exact same thing I went through in 2015 at Bluestone Apartments. We were lucky. We had the line placed and everything else, and nobody got injured. But when things go bad when you're a firefighter, by the time you realize it, you're already in trouble. And like I used to tell my guys, don't give a mayday when you're in trouble. Give me a mayday before you're in trouble, when you think you're in trouble, because it could be either too late. But I really wanted to say to the board, this is not abnormal. This is what these guys face on a daily basis. Any call can go bad. So therefore, it's sort of like 9/11, when 383 firefighters died climbing up those towers. But then, you know, yeah, people still remember. But that's what firemen do. So I get the deepest respect, and to my brothers and sisters, keep the traditions alive. Thank you.
Alderman Dowd.
Yeah, I just want to say I agree with all my previous aldermanics comments. I'll leave it at that. The only other thing I want to mention is the school department does have a separate attendance policy for athletes that's different, including the punishments from regular students. So that's why anybody that's on an athletic team couldn't have joined the protest, because they would have been kicked off their teams.
Alderman Senate.
Oh, thank you, Madam President. I wanted to start by commending, we had a lot of residents in here tonight being sworn in for various committees and boards, and honestly, it's one of my favorite parts of this job is seeing people step up and commit their time to the city in different ways. And you know, we had a lot tonight, and we've got a list coming ahead of us for reappointment of a bunch of people who have taken that time and decided, yeah, I'll do it for a little bit longer. So I just want to commend all those folks, especially the folks that are still here with us tonight. I see Ward 7's own Lou Jarris back there, so special shout out to Lou. Yeah, I mean, not enough can be said about our fire department and firefighters anywhere that do the job. significantly better people than me. You couldn't pay me to do what these people do for probably still not enough money. So hats off to them. Best wishes to the injured firefighters and their families. Their families make that same commitment whenever they take up the job. So we're forever indebted to them. I can't say enough as well about the good thing that we did tonight by naming the Arlington Street Community Center for our colleague Gloria. I agree, because I remember that question being asked, would she have wanted this? Absolutely not. But at the same time, she would have argued with us to the ends of the earth about it, but I feel in the end she would have taken the honor with great humility. And I think we did her and her family a great service tonight, so I'm happy to have been part of that. And I had one other item, but it's left me, so I'm just going to cede my time. Thank you so much.
Alderman Johnson.
Thank you. If you remember, I'll give you some of my time.
Oh, no sweat.
I'd like to thank our great firefighters for everything they've done and speedy recovery to our firefighters who got injured. I'd like to make a comment regarding Mr. Thompson and Mr. Gerstenfield. The reason I wrote this was because last year when I broke my kneecap, I asked to Zoom, and I was not given the opportunity to Zoom on an ordinance that I helped write regarding the income for married couples exemption. And I had broken kneecap, and that's why I have my special seat, because I couldn't sit on the benches. So I vowed, if I got elected, I was going to write an ordinance so we could at least start trying to get people with a disability to be able to Zoom so they can participate in these meetings. It's just the beginning, but we had to start somewhere, Attorney Clark and myself. The only reason we said that we was asking for information because we want to make sure that people who are disabled are the ones who are going to Zoom, and that other people who could come into the meetings would come in, because we didn't want to take the opportunity away from people who might be legally blind. And I was talking with Alderman Morgan about this earlier, what else we could do. So this is just the beginning, because I do feel that people who have a walking disability and who have other disabilities under ADA, we should be able to allow them to Zoom. And that's why this came about, because I couldn't walk last year, and I helped write an ordinance, and I felt I should have had the right to participate and speak on the amount that our elderly seniors should be able to have exemption being married and income. And that was another big thing that I did. So I thank you both for your participation, and we will work on this because I know I have two of my colleagues here that voted to be sponsors on it. And it's going to go to committee, and you're welcome to come to committee, or you can email me or call me and give me your input, and I'll be more than happy to put it before the committee, and hopefully we can get a good piece of legislation out so we can help people under ADA. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Alderwoman Kelly.
Thank you. I will echo a great thanks to our firefighters. They do incredible work, and what could have been a very serious emergency was obviously taken very quickly under control. So grateful for them. I also wanted to share that next week is Empty Bowls. It's a great community event that the Soup Kitchen has partnered with the high schools for a long time. They actually make bowls, the ceramic students make bowls, and then you come and you get soup. So if you're able to make that, it's Wednesday, February 18th. There's still tickets online. You can get tickets at the door. If it snows, which it seems to be doing a lot lately, it will be on Thursday, February 19th. And then I also wanted to weigh in on the protest. I actually was able to attend. The students that put it together sent me an invite to come, and I was really, grateful for the invite and was able to show up and support them. And I have to say, when the news of that protest hit social media, there was a lot of hate that was put in the comment sections. And I just want to say on the record that protesting is one of the most critical American rights. And for grown adults to be attacking students for exercising that right is disappointing at best. But to put the spotlight back where it belongs, they were incredible. They were so interesting to hear. They had really beautiful stories, and they were so passionate, informed. And I was just proud to be there as a Nashwan. And I will say, I made a sign, and my sign had one word, and the one word said enough. And I think this country is in a dire moment, and so much of that is predicated on the ability to divide us, to make you feel as though the person sitting next to you can't possibly understand what you're saying, that they might be brainwashed, that they're out to get you. But I have to say that the most important thing I've learned from being a leader in this city is that the best leaders bring people together. I don't look at the person next to me and immediately put them in a bucket. They're not a Republican or a Democrat. I don't care if they went to high school or college. I don't care how they got to this country. And I think until we start thinking about that and looking at the division that's being sowed, things are going to continue. So Bad Bunny ended his, someone else said this already, but he ended his set at the Super Bowl with two important messages. He said one was that the only thing more powerful than hate is love. And the second was together we are America. And I think if we stand together, if we work together, if we fight this division, then we can really write the next chapter of the United States of America.
Alderman Morgan.
How do you talk after that? So echo all of my colleagues on thanking fire. And not just their work this week, but their work every day for the little things that they do, for the big things. And I specifically wanted to thank Ozzy, our police comfort dog, who now has started Ozzy's mission and was there and went over to fire. And this is, you know, we have games and rivalries of police versus fire and, you know, which one do kids want to be when they grow up. But at the end of the day, they're working together. And to echo what you said, they're finding out ways that we can do that every day. And that is what I love most about Nashua, is that people do come together and they do help each other. So a reminder, yes, we have more snow. Yes, we're all sick of it. Go outside, help your neighbors if you can, whether it's shoveling out the fire hydrant, please, helping them get the snow off the roof, whatever it may be, bringing in their groceries. Just let's go back to helping each other and knowing who our neighbors are. If you do happen to see something that the plows break or anything else, like a pothole, you can use See-Click Fix. Just download the app, take the picture, upload it, and it does get fixed. You can use it to remove graffiti. There's 100 different things you could use it for, but it's literally not possible for city employees to see and be everywhere at every point in time immediately when something happens. It's on us to help them do that. I did want to echo some of what you had said, Alderman Johnson, my apologies, around the ordinance 026-002. Every single one of us sitting here today did campaign on City Hall should be more accessible. And so, Mr. Mayor, I ask that when you're doing your website redesign, that we keep that in mind for submitting testimony or public comment. Maybe that is another way that we can make that more accessible for people to give comment. Lastly, Saturday is Valentine's Day, don't forget, and happy President's Day.
Where do I get flowers?
Alderman Lopez.
So first I want to comment on the 440 gas explosion. I appreciated the emergency alert that went out because everyone in our office, and I work in proximity to it, got the alert. We followed our evacuation plan, and I was the one who was like, why are we evacuating for a gas leak when our building doesn't use gas? And then like on cue, there's like a boom and a bunch of clouds go up, and I was like, oh, okay. So we don't always know and what exactly is going on. So it is very much appreciated where the communication is there, that there is something going on and we need to get out of the way. I also want to comment on the fire at 100 Main Street. That was knocked down very quickly and that could have been very bad. We've already had a major fire and displacement in Ward 4. And the sprinkler system functioned, to my knowledge, as well as it should have. There was people displaced, and they're being worked with the Red Cross. And then there were several businesses that were affected, including the escape room. I cannot for the life of me imagine what it was like for the fire department to go and search the escape rooms, but it's just the kind of stuff that they have to do, figure out, and maintain. And to the point of community, I noticed that the restaurant next door sheltered everybody who was displaced from that while it was happening. because it was freezing out. It was 1 degree out. And I give all the respect in the world for Nashua Fire for getting out there and doing what needed to be done, regardless of how comfortable it was to do it. But I also recognize the businesses that open their arms to those residents. So I would encourage everybody who's looking at downtown and what to do over the next couple of weeks, keep those businesses in mind as they try to rebuild and recover, because they could definitely use that shot in the arm that a little extra patronage provides. I did want to comment briefly, we were talking about mobility and coming to City Hall, so as somebody who had to travel here, typically travels via bus, I think it's important for anybody who is struggling with mobility and does use the city bus services, make sure you're signing up for those emergency alerts, because today was a stage 1 adjustment, which meant, for example, if you're over at Somerset where I would have been, you have to know that you're at stage 1 to call the city bus, otherwise you're standing out there wondering what's happening and why nobody's picking you up. So if you're in the sound of my voice and you use the bus regularly, make sure you sign up for the alerts, because when there's changes to your transportation home, make sure you know what those changes are going to be. And then the last thing, happy Valentine's Day to everybody. For those of you who did not remember what your plans were going to be or make those plans, there are still tickets available for Involved to Impact's Noche Fuego event, which will be Saturday. And we have a couple of spaces left for parents with kids, because we have a kids activity section. So if you're interested, check out Involved to Impact. They're promoting it like crazy.
So I too would like to thank our firefighters and all first responders, and mutual aid. They did a fantastic job. The firefighters that were injured, my sympathies go to them and their families. And like you said, Alderman O'Brien, it's not just this time, it's every time they go to a call. So I appreciate them. I also appreciate the fact that we supported the Arlington Street Community Center being named for Gloria. It's a well-deserved honor. Committee announcements. Alderman Tebow.
Thank you, Madam President. We have next Thursday, not this Thursday, next Thursday, we have our first Planning and Economic Development meeting. We're going to have planning probably at all of our meetings until July, at least July, and maybe even have multiple meetings, because we're going over the coding, the new zone, the new rezone of the city, which I ask all aldermen, if you're not able to come to our committee, to at least watch them or read the minutes, because in July, we're going to have this giant new code in front of us. We did a lot of work last year, but we have a lot of new aldermen and alderwomen, so it's critical that you guys know what we are voting for in July when that thing comes up and it's like, here you go, here's the new code. So please find a way to at least review it, and the code's online so you can look at it. But yeah, next Thursday. Thank you.
Alderman O'Brien.
Yeah, tomorrow night at 7 p.m. here in the chamber will be the Infrastructure Committee joint meeting with the police commissioners in reference to the new police department training building that's currently being built. So starts at 7 p.m.
Alderman Dowd.
Yes, Thursday, we have a public hearing, which we require a quorum of the Board of Aldermen for, and followed by budget.
Anyone else? No. Alderman Clemmons.
Thank you, Madam President. I move to adjourn.
Motion is to adjourn. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? We are adjourned at 8:48. Thank you, everyone.